Good morning, everyone. If you're just joining us, we're giving everyone a few more minutes to join. Hello, everyone. We will get started at 4 past, just giving a few more folks some extra time to join. Okay, I think for all of the people that were here on time, thank you so much. And we are going to get started here. So thank you so much for joining us. My name is Emma Cox. I am an EVP here at ClimeCo, and my role is really focused on designing customized solutions for our clients to help them decarbonize. So I'm excited to be on this call today to talk to you about what I think is an incredibly novel and leadership approach to decarbonization with Tricon. So I will pass it on to my colleague, Danny, to introduce herself next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Danny. I'm a manager on ClimeCo's sustainability policy and advisory team. My focus is on ESG strategy and sustainability communication, so I'm very excited to be working on this project. And I'll toss it to Casey on my team.
Thanks, Danny. Hi, everyone. My name is Casey Ferran. I'm an analyst on the sustainability policy and advisory team here at ClimeCo, and my main focus is also ESG strategy, and I'm super excited to engage with you all on this webinar.
Great. So for the agenda today, I will start by passing the mic to Elizabeth Carlson, Tricon's Chief Sustainability Officer, and she'll talk a little bit about the Supplier Incentive Program and a bit about how it came to be. And then next, I'll briefly touch on who is ClimeCo, and hopefully that'll give you a better idea of why we're best positioned to support this program. And then my colleagues Casey and Danny will take you through the details of the program, including eligibility. And then we're hoping to leave a few minutes at the end for questions if there are any. So let's get started. Elizabeth.
Yeah, thanks everybody. I just wanted to acknowledge I saw a question in the chat that the meeting link was a little bit difficult to find in the registration for the event. So maybe we'll take as an action to send out what we can afterwards. I'm not sure if we'll have a chance to get the email out, but just wanted to acknowledge that that might have been a challenge for some people joining. So just to talk a little bit about the incentive program from Tricon's perspective, and we're really excited to be partnering with ClimeCo and others and have their support to implement this program. But essentially our intention is to help suppliers or enable the supply chain because we sit sort of in the middle as a trading and distribution company to really create more transparency in the calculation disclosure of product carbon footprint. And that, of course, means how much greenhouse gas emissions is sort of embedded in the product. We cradle to gate is what we're looking at. So how much emissions goes into all the raw materials in production, all the way until it comes to us. And so it's also to help suppliers, not just because we're being asked for that product carbon footprint from our customers, but also we know that others are asking for it. So, it can help meet current or upcoming requirements in Europe. Certainly, we're starting to see certain chemicals in the fertilizer side integrated into regulation, and we expect that to grow going forward. We also have more attention to scope 3, and so product carbon footprints are oftentimes the biggest source of scope 3 emissions for many companies like ours. And then it can also help identify focus areas for reducing emissions, and that can have implications for cost and things like that as well. And then certainly from us, we are partnering in this program with our banks. And so we see that expectation from financial institutions, other companies see it from investors on how we look at climate data and transition plans over the long term. So that's really where this comes from. And the intent is for Tricon to sort of do our part to promote that transparency because we don't have such big scope 1 and 2 emissions. And our focus is really on scope 3, which is our suppliers and our customers and how we can work collaboratively on that. So I'll pass back to Emma and the team.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Perfect. So I'll do a very brief overview of ClimeCo. ClimeCo is a full-service, vertically integrated decarbonization company. So we help companies really no matter where they are on their journeys and no matter what their size or industry, kind of design a pathway to decarbonization. And we found actually that pathway can look very different depending on your company's sort of unique operational needs or your company's sort of unique supply chain or your access to funding. So we've really purposefully designed our offerings and even evolved our company to address all of these nuances. And we deliver our services through 3 main groups. So our advisory group, this group really focuses on abatement support, so helping companies design a pathway to reducing emissions, whether that's through greenhouse gas accounting, target setting, marginal abatement cost curve analysis. We also do materiality assessments. We help navigate disclosures, and we even have a policy team that advises our clients on relevant legislation and helps to identify grants for funding. We also have a project development group that invests in and develops decarbonization projects, so both nature-based and industrial. So anything from sort of reforestation and conservation to atmospheric nitrogen removal and carbon capture and storage. And then finally, we have our environmental commodities group, which buys, sells, and trades carbon and renewable energy credits. So if there's anything you take away from this slide too, there are many ways to decarbonize, and we've really designed our business to be flexible based on our clients' unique and specific profiles and needs.
So with that said, how can ClimeCo help you through this program? So first, we're really excited to be partnering with Tricon on this program because like Emma said, Tricon is really taking a leadership role in decarbonizing their supply chain by actually taking it a step further than most companies and being willing to partially fund that decarbonization for their suppliers. So that's what really makes this program unique and why we're so excited to be sharing this with you. Like Elizabeth mentioned, the intent of the program is to help suppliers calculate and share their PCFs. So if you haven't calculated your PCF, that would be the sort of bare minimum requirement to participate in the program and what Tricon would prioritize covering the cost of for you. And then beyond that, if you've already calculated your PCF, we're offering an a la carte style menu of options for incentive services that you're able to choose one from depending on your company's specific needs. So for whichever one you choose, Tricon is willing to cover the cost of the service up to around $20,000, which again is very unique to this program. So to take you through the options quickly, for companies who haven't yet calculated their PCF, we can help you do that, along with helping you understand your carbon footprint as a whole and establishing methods for identifying levers to help you reduce that footprint. And for companies who have already calculated their PCF and they're interested in reducing their emissions further, Tricon is covering a wide range of incentives up to a $20,000 value, from Scope 1 and 2 decarbonization strategy to renewable energy strategy and credits to a site energy audit to decarbonization funding for one region. And all of those come with benefits that include helping you identify levers to reduce your PCF and then in turn potentially improve your operations and reduce costs, or meet expectations from your value chain, or help fund decarbonization projects that can position you as a leader and protect you from future risk. And then finally, any supplier who signs up for any incentive will get access to educational workshops on carbon markets and science-based targets to inform your core stakeholders and spur action on decarbonization. So if you take away anything from this presentation and this slide, it's that Tricon is supplementing the cost of any one of these services up to around $20,000. And you're able to pick and choose the one that works best for your business, with the only requirement being that you calculate your PCF. And then, of course, if you want to do more than one service, then you would just pay for that and we would work with you on it. But yeah.
So going off our menu of services, we want to highlight a couple of our example incentives and how ClimeCo can help you complete them and how your company can benefit from them. So first, we want to talk about a Scope 1 and 2 decarbonization strategy. This project type will help you understand what the most feasible opportunities are to decarbonize your owned and operated emissions while creating cost-saving opportunities and staying ahead of ESG regulation. And the deliverable pictured on this slide illustrates the potential cost savings in relation to metric tons of CO2 that we can help you abate per year. And then the second incentive that we want to highlight is decarbonization funding. Our policy team at ClimeCo can help your company track government-sponsored incentives and funds that we are available to help you decrease project costs. As a result of the policy trackers that we create, such as the example deliverable pictured to the right here, the complicated process of finding government funding is simplified, and you can decarbonize a lot more quickly in order to meet investor and regulatory expectations.
Thanks, Casey. So let's talk eligibility. So again, each supplier is eligible for one incentive option, with the priority being calculating your PCF if you haven't already. And to be eligible for the program, suppliers must, one, be designated as a key supplier to Tricon, which everyone here should be. Two, be invited by your commercial contact or sustainability team to participate. And three, agree to provide a PCF for a product purchased by Tricon, calculated according to the TFS product carbon footprint guideline, or be verified to ISO 14067, which is an international standard that basically defines the requirements necessary for companies to qualify the carbon footprint of their products.
Okay, so we're already nearing the end of our time with you, and this is the wrap up. So if you've taken something away from today's session, it's really that Tricon's offering monetary incentives for you to decarbonize that at a bare minimum requires a PCF, but can also include other decarbonization measures. So these incentives are really meant to position your company very nicely for overall business success, a positive environmental impact, and then really meeting stakeholder expectations. And this is really a long-term risk mitigation strategy as well. And finally, we want to make this very easy for you to participate. So if you have questions, you want to get started, or you just want to learn more, please reach out to us at the email we've provided here, triconsuppliers@climeco.com. We are eager to hear from you. If you know of others that might be interested in this program that are Tricon suppliers, please do forward it to them. We will also share this information with all of the invitees and the participants, as well as the deck. So thank you so much for your attention today. We tried to keep it very short and sweet so that there would be time for any burning questions out there. So please do not be shy, raise your hand, unmute yourself, ask questions in the chat, and we will stand by. Elizabeth, anything to add?
No, that's it. Just that, yeah, any questions, we really want to make sure we can answer those. So please don't be shy with asking anything, as Emma said.
And we'll share this deck at the end with everyone here, so you have time to sit with it too.
I'll give it just another moment, just in case.
Quick question about calculating the PCF. How long does it typically take? What duration of engagement would that typically be from start to beginning? We have calculated our PCF, but I'm just curious if for companies who haven't, or even if you wanted to go through a process of verification, in general, what does that effort look like?
Yeah, that's a great question, Becky. Thank you so much for speaking up. It will depend, but roughly, a month
Right.
or so of work is required for that. And so we would need to gather a bit of data from you, but roughly a month or so is the average timeline. And Becky, feel free to reach out to us on the email so that we can learn more about your business and answer any other questions you might have. Great to hear that you've already done it. I see a question here. Can you talk about incentives you provide to suppliers to deploy CapEx intensive solutions that lower unit costs, such as electrification of a boiler? Okay. Upfront CapEx when taking the bulk of the savings in unit cost. Very specific question. Elizabeth, do you want to take that one?
Sorry, I'm trying to find it in writing because that was a hard one to follow. Okay, can you talk about incentives? Well, I think this is the case that we would just be funding. This is a question to you, Emma, about the incentive that you're offering on the incentives around decarbonization. So in this case, we're funding like the study or the review of that, not like the specific CapEx. There definitely are banks and other financing opportunities that can even have, savings and things like that. And that might have even been one of the other aspects of the study that you were referring to in the incentives. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about that specific incentive when it comes to like financing and decarbonization.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think this is a unique situation where we could definitely support you on this, and then we'd have to figure out sort of the logistics of, the portion that Tricon would cover for this. But this is an example of something that ClimeCo works on every day with our clients. So definitely something we can support. So please do reach out, Will, with sort of so we can find out more about your specific ask. We are very well versed in finding sort of funding for opportunities. Thanks, Will. All right, any others?
Sorry, how many funding opportunities have you been involved in Canada?
We do quite a bit of work in Canada, actually, Becky. The majority of our policy team is located in Canada, about 60%. So, yes, we
Okay.
do a lot of work there.
Thank you. That's great.
Great, and I saw someone just joined. We will be sending out all of the information after this call, so don't worry, you haven't missed anything. And then we've also included our email address to reach out with any questions specifically you might have after reviewing the deck. Great. Well, I will say going once and going twice. Thank you so much for your attention, your time today. We really hope you get in touch with us. This is a wonderful program that Tricon is leading, and we're happy to be a part of it. And we hope that we get to work with each of you moving forward. So thank you so much, and we will be in your inbox shortly with the follow-up materials.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks
everyone.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.